This is a boat crew survival vest. It's an individual issue item for members in surface operations, and this happens to be mine. I'm referring to a maintenance procedure card. I can't show you that. Those are fairly close hold. We will talk about where to find those as we go through the rest of the Boat Crew Academy. So this is my vest, and it's a great time here at the beginning of the year to do an annual inspection and see how things stand out. There's a very specific way things are organized in this. Ours is a little bit different than the active duty in that we are not carrying our pyro in all cases in these. So ours are set up a little bit differently because we use commercial pyrotechnics that we would carry in similar locations. But you know, when you see one of these vests, when you're talking to your shipmates, you want to see this set up properly. The other thing I would say is you don't want to stuff these pockets with all sorts of ancillary items. Access to this equipment is very, very important. And if you've got these pockets full of all sorts of other stuff, you're going to get in the way of actually accessing those items when you need them. So starting up here in the upper right pocket, as you wear it, upper left pocket as we're seeing it here, this is going to contain two items. It is going to contain a strobe. We test these regularly. That one's working, great. And it's connected by this piece of line. You can see mine's a little twisted here. I usually take these out every couple times and untwist everything. And a signal mirror. Now I can automatically already see I've got a problem here. This signal mirror line has been snagged. There's a whole methodology, 36 to 42 inches long with a bowline on either end with the line. So this is something that we're gonna have to replace. So for the moment, we'll put that away. Also, we'll be talking about easy ways, good ways to use the signal mirror. Moving down here, I'm gonna take this out. We'll talk about that in a second. I should find my whistle, and there it is. And again, looking at this line, starting to get a snag there, so it's probably time to replace this line as well. What's happening here typically is these are just snagging on the aggressive Velcro and pulling out. So they're just kind of something that you have to get used to replacing on a fairly regular basis. Other side here. Oh, before we go on. So what's this thing? This is a tether, and it's actually made to tether together with other boat crew members so you can stay together through this little eye, I believe. Luckily, never had to use one of these. One of the things to do is just to check to make sure this isn't broken. Put that away. Okay. Our survival knife. So it's here. Comes free. There's no specific instructions on how you should manage this line. What I've found is when I try to take it out, when it is wrapped around the knife, I have a really hard time immediately using the knife. So I tend to put it away. And this is not specific. I'd love to get other people's feedback on this. Wrap this up, put it in the top cap here of the rubber, stick that away, and then close it. Now I'm going to tell you, honestly, this is not my primary knife. I carry another knife on my person. Coming over to this pocket, this is where you should find my personal locator beacon. And we will do a class on these, how to test them, what to look for. We test these once a month. There's a fairly involved procedure, and you need to learn how to understand what's happening with the lights. Again, that's one of the details in the maintenance procedure card, so it'll do it pretty well. Let me replace this antenna and make sure it's actually there and put that away. Okay, so the other thing the active duty will carry is they'll carry a day-night smoke here, and then they'll carry their little launcher pyrotechnics here. If you're not carrying those pyrotechnics, this is kind of the pocket that I would restrict having anything else. You know, I'd restrict any other stuff I'm carrying to this other pocket. I will admit I sometimes carry a pen up here, but the kinds of things I carry, notepad, a watch, a little light, and typically in my pocket, I'm going to carry another knife as well. And because of the kinds of stuff I like to do, I will also carry a camera that actually just magnets on here, and I clip into this pocket, but it doesn't go in a pocket. And I'm also often operating as aux PATCOM, so I usually carry a couple radios in my pockets, or I actually have a radio pocket that I can add on here. So let's look at some other things. You're going to see I have Velcro up here. You want to make sure that's in good condition. As I look at the overall vest, I want to make sure that this buckle clips, and I've got it clipped. I want to make sure that this zipper clips, thing. But again, you're going to go through all these details in the maintenance procedure card. So let's look at this vest. I want to look for loose threads. I have a few here that I should probably trim off. It doesn't look like I've got an issue there. And it looks like, yeah, so this retroreflective tape is peeling off. So I'm going to have to go back in here with white thread and very carefully put that back together. Check this side. This side seems good. Look at the back. Make sure the markings are clear. They are. One thing I like to just always make sure I'm doing is managing the straps that tighten it and make sure that they're actually fed back in. If you've got these hanging down, it's just something else to snag and to grab and to throw you off balance. So that's your standard boat crew survival vest set up for auxiliary use.